I think like prayer.
And we lie. She's picking out the colors for her pool deck. How's everybody doing? Good to be here. So we had a pretty day, prettiest day we've had in a while.
It was. I got a lot accomplished.
Yes, you did. And
You was off gallerying.
well, I had a little get together.
Yeah.
I
I got taters planted,
got
flowers
taters
planted.
planted? In your raised bed? What kinds you plant?
A mixture of everything.
Oh,
Is that okay?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, they may grow out a little different, be like this right here, but that'd be okay.
Those that we cut up on the show a couple weeks back.
Oh yeah, you planted those. Cool. They were starting to sprout a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but even if they hadn't started sprouting, folks, you can still plant them. They'll be fine. We do it all the time, so whatever. We'll be continue to get potatoes out some this week because we're talking about 85 degrees here in a few days.
Yeah, but there are some places that are still cold.
Yeah, but within the next 2 weeks, we're gonna get most of the potatoes shipped. We got all of them shipped for here in the South. If you
Not
had
tomorrow because it's a
not tomorrow, because tomorrow is a President's Day and USPS is closed tomorrow. But if you still want some potatoes, we have some left on the website, and we continually ship them. We're out of a couple of varieties, but
we had to take some off the website.
I had to take some off the website, so we're moving right along. And we got something special. So starting Tuesday, for the first time ever, we're going to be selling plugs. We're selling vegetable plugs. You see these right here, these are brassicas that we have. Does that give an indication how big they are? Because I always think it's hard to tell exactly how big they are. So that's how big they are right there. Good sized plugs. And these that we're selling right now are cabbage, stonehead cabbage, Blue Ridge kale, twister cauliflower, top bunch collards, green magic broccoli. Did I miss one there? I don't think I did these 5 of them. Stonehead cabbage, twister cauliflower, top bunch collard, green magic broccoli.
Kale.
I didn't say kale. You got me messed up. Cabbage, kale, cabbage, kale, broccoli, cauliflower, and collards. So we're going to be having these every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then not going to have them Thursday, Friday because we're not going to ship these on Thursday, Friday because we don't want them sent in the post office over the weekend. So you can order these starting Friday afternoon at lunch, and we will ship them the following Monday, or you can order Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, and we will ship them then. And we're not going to ship on Thursday, Friday. We'll continue the next week shipping. So we're getting a inventory in every week. When those are sold out, we won't have no more to the following week. So it's important to know if you want some plugs, get your
until what week? How many weeks?
Oh man, it's in the 1st of May. I think I have to look at my schedule. And then in later March, we're going to have peppers and tomatoes plugs also for people that don't have resources to start their own plants. So that's another thing. Let's talk about seeds for a minute. Update on seeds. Last week, I believe it was Thursday to Friday, we got a big load. Well, we got a load in Thursday. We got another shipment in Friday of peas. So it'll take us a couple of days in beans to get those on the website. But we've gotten a lot of our beans and peas in last week. Christmas lima. We got those in. We was really stressing about that, but we got some. And the reason we got these is because you want pea seeds, you want to make sure you get last year's crop. That's the reason we have to wait, because they have to get them cleaned and germed and all that. And we got fresh seeds.
But we got to pack them.
We got to pack them. It'll take a couple or 3 days to do that. So just everybody know we got them and we're getting them out there. So a few days they'll be on the website, and they will be last year's seeds, which is fresh seeds.
But there were some we couldn't get still.
Yeah, but you know what? We was worried about Christmas lime, and we ended up getting a full order in on it. So we got some. The grower would email us and cut back on our order, and on some of them we still got the full order. Strange, but anyway, when we get them, that's what we know what we got on those. There's still some of the cowpeas we ain't got in, but we should have them in shortly. Don't get in a hurry ordering your cowpeas. Wait another 2 or 3 weeks till we get them in and order them. That way you got fresh seeds. Pea seeds do not hold over. Bean seeds hold over better than pea seeds. Excuse me. Yeah, bean seeds hold better than cowpea seeds, but they don't hold really good. So pea seeds, we just about won't hold. We'll hold. We just sometimes if we
Just
hold,
move on.
if we have them, if you have them in the right environment, they will hold somewhat. But normally speaking, cowpea seeds don't hold. All right. Oh, I got through that, didn't I? Man.
Like a riddle.
All right. So this is where we at. And we got folks joining us from Worth County. Ain't that cool?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Lisa Edison says, hi, horses and everybody. Hello, Lisa. All right. Vicky says, how to stop worms in sweet potatoes. That's a tough one, Vicky. A lot of times what you're dealing with there is what we call wire worms, which actually live into the soil of where you plant your sweet potatoes, and then they'll burrow into them. And it's really aggravating when you dig your potatoes up and see those little small holes in there.
Mm.
You can, if you apply the insecticide at the right time, you can apply Bug Buster 2, and it will help with that. But your timing has got to be perfect on that. And you need to do it when those things are just hatching out. Otherwise, what I would highly encourage you to do is use a mustard cover crop before you plant your sweet potatoes, and do a good crop rotation, and don't plant sweet potatoes where sweet potatoes have been planted the last 3 or 4 years. That mustard that we got, what's that mustard we got? This, I'm looking at you. Our mustards that we got on our cover crops is a biofumigate. Those work really well for planting before potatoes.
Florida broadleaf?
Not Florida. You can use Florida broadleaf. We got another one. Kodiak.
Yeah.
Not Kodiak. Is it Kodiak?
Yeah, Kodiak brown.
Kodiak brown, I think it's one. We got one that's really hot, and it's really good for biofumigate. You can look on our website and see under cool season cover crops. So that was what I would recommend there, Vicky.
Anthony, can I till in dust into my garden? Will that help? Yes.
What kind of dust, Anthony? I don't know exactly what you're talking about. Give me a little bit more on that one.
Miss Hoss, I got a
Mr.
message.
Hoss.
I can't read. Go ahead, Mr.
That'd be
Hoss.
for me, girl. So, Mr. Hoss, I got a mess of onion sets. How should I fertilize them using conventional fertilizers? Good question.
Yes, that's
A mess. He's a southern fella. I'm concerned because your video says stop fertilizing, won't say bulb and phase kicks in. That is correct. So what you want to do, if you're going to grow onions with conventional fertilizer and you've got onion sets, which I'm not crazy about onion sets, but if that's what you got and that's what you're going to use, those are dried onion. You know what I'm talking about, the little dried onion sets like you buy in Tractor Supply. All right, so plant them, fertilize them with a balanced fertilizer. You can go to our growing guide and it shows you a strategy for growing those. We got a 10-10-10 all-in-one, but you want to alternate that with ammonium sulfate. And 30 days before those get big, you want to stop fertilizing. When the top gets looking really good, and once the bulb gets about the size of a small golf ball.
Has yours started bulbing yet?
Well, they will in 2 weeks.
I fertilized mine today.
Don't fertilize them anymore. Let's today be last time. For us, that we plant them in the fall, we're fixing to quit fertilizing ours. But about the size, the bulb will get about the size of a ping pong ball. Stop fertilizing from there, and then they bulb up. Hope that helps.
Hey, horses. I tried that dram one. It seems to wash the perlite away. Should I have missed it instead?
Well, you can, but what I do is I lift it way up. So if you put it close to it, yes, it will do that. I kind of lift it way up so that it doesn't have as much impact on it when it hits. So you can use a mister. I use the mister sometimes. I'm growing tobacco seeds now, and I have to use the mister on that because I don't want to wash those away. But normally I just hold it way up, and it hits it real soft light, and you're okay.
You left the side down. I got it there today, and it was like 80 degrees.
That's what I wanted.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Because I'm trying to germinate in there. I want a high temperature.
It was too hot. The onions and the other stuff was.
I was a little bit worried about that, but thank you.
Zone 7B here. What, if anything, can I start getting out in the garden? I have my raised beds and grow bags ready.
Well, probably, John, I would suspect you could start with broccoli and cauliflower.
Beets?
You could plant your beets, radishes. I think you could go ahead and put broccoli and cauliflower and cabbage in. If not this week, next week for sure.
My English peas are up about that high.
Yeah, and English peas. Now, I thought I was in zone 7. I'd wait a couple weeks before planting my English peas. But yeah, yep. Get everything ready, John, because I think it's here for you on some stuff. Brassicas. Get those brassicas planted. Beets, radishes, and onions. If you haven't planted your onions. Kyle says green beans were destroyed last year with yellow bugs. What can we do better this year? Stay under a pretty good pest control program. Start off with neem oil and spinosad, and then maybe switch up some bug buster tool a little later on. But make you a schedule, Kyle, to spray your beans with an insecticide, and I think that'll probably help you. Anytime you have a bug problem, you got to catch them early before they start doing any damage.
Sawdust.
Oh, Anthony. Okay, sawdust. Yeah. Woo, I'm not a big, if it's aged several years old, you can use sawdust. I'm not a big fan of sawdust, and I'll tell you the reason why. When it breaks down into organic matter, it steals your nitrogen away. So I would rather put it in a compost bin and compost it first and not add sawdust, especially raw or green sawdust, because if I do, it's going to steal your nitrogen away from your plants. If you're going to do it, if you already done it, make sure you add extra nitrogen to take care of that.
Southern California, 10B. Can you grow the peanuts in a grow bag?
I don't know why you could.
I would say the big one, the 100-gallon.
Yeah, I would use the big one too. Yeah, I don't see why you could. Yeah, peanuts are a long day. I mean, it takes a long time to grow, but I don't see why not. Southern California, you got plenty of time. 10B. Yep. Tony says, can I plant bodacious sweet corn 75 day and Jimmy Red 85 at the same time, or should I wait a week or two? Tony, I'd wait a week or two. The reason I do that is if our weather turns off cool, that day's maturity is not going to mean near as much, because you're looking at a lot of times you're looking at heat units on corn, and if it turns off real cool, they could end up maturing at the same time. So I would give it a couple of weeks, and I would plant my bodacious first, and then wait a little bit and plant my Jimmy Red, because the corn earworm doesn't get in the Jimmy Red near as bad as it does the sweet corn. So I would plant sweet corn first, wait, and then plant my Jimmy Red. I think it'd be fine. I do it all the time.
Grow bag question. After that heavy all-day rain last Saturday, 2 of my bags developed white mold within 2 days. Do I need to replant those?
Nah, Michelle, let the sunshine take care of it. Put them out there, and I think it'll be fine. I don't think it's nothing to worry about. William Cobbs, do I need to separate field corn and sweet corn to prevent cross-pollination? Yes, sir, William, you sure do. Yep, you can do that, as we talked about just a minute ago, by if you don't have enough room to put them far enough in distance. And I forgot what the amount of area you got to have in between those. But I would definitely wait a couple of weeks, in 2 to 3 weeks, and plant my field corn later. That's just a standard practice I do.
Have you ever tried cube of butter yellow squash? Creamy yellow straight neck squash that has a buttery taste. That sounds good.
Huh. We'll have to look at some of our vendors and see it. I've never seen that before. Tube of butter. Cube of butter.
Yeah. It's a tube.
Cube of butter. Yeah.
That just sounds good, don't it?
It does. We'll have to check it out. Thank you, Katie. Cajun Martin Farm, good evening. What time is best to contact you so you can rig me up something where I can put some oscillating hose on my heart wheel, or just even. So we should have some videos. Yeah, just shoot us an email to CussServe and tell them that you talked to me on the live, and we'll get you fixed up. I probably got a video I can find. I can see. And if you're like me, I'm a visual type person. I can see something. Yep, we should be able to hook you up. Just email us.
Mama House, what's the number one natural fertilizer you recommend for all around? The complete organic.
I agree. Thank you, Lisa.
Hello from Middle Tennessee. Is House going to have the Plus Series tomato seeds?
Yes. So we've gotten some, and I don't think we've got them packed yet. We do have some of those in. We're getting them more in. We're working through some inventory right now, but yes, the one that we're not going to have this year is going to be the yellow boy, because they just come out with the yellow boy, I think. So yellow boy plus.
What
Yeah,
is the plus?
the plus series is the big beef celebrity. You're gonna mess me up here.
Mm-hmm.
And yellow boy, and there's a purple boy coming out too. I think it's coming out maybe in a couple of next years.
Well, what's so special about
It is, wow, glad you asked.
it?
Glad you asked. It is a gene that is resistant to tomato spotted wilt virus. So it is what they call the
wow.
marker. They call it the marker gene that is resistant to tomato spotted wilt virus. So if you don't have tomato spotted wilt, it's no issue to you whatsoever. But if you have problems with tomato spotted wilt virus, then it's a big issue for you. So that's really the only difference in them. I think that's the only difference in them from what I was told.
Mm-hmm.
Randy says, I have onions and 162 tray. When would be the first time to start fertilizing, or do need to wait till I plant outdoors? No, Randy. You want to go ahead and start fertilizing just as soon as they get probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 inches high. I would start doing a very weak fertilization first time or two. And remember, you need to trim those back. So every time they shoot up about 5 inches, you want to trim them back to about 2.5 inches. And what that does is stresses the plant a little bit, makes that bulb up a little bit bigger. So yes, fertilize them and trim them. Monkey Food Garden, hey y'all from South Louisiana, welcome. Do y'all still have potatoes we could plant late this year? No, we're going to have sweet potatoes. We're going to have sweet potatoes. We will have potatoes, Irish potatoes, probably for another couple weeks, and that'll be pretty much it for us. We won't have them later this year. You know, a lot of people want to plant them in the fall, and we actually planted some.
Did.
You planted some in the fall. You did.
I planted some in the fall, and they were some that I had harvested in the spring. So
I don't know of any of the seed potato growers that offer seed potatoes in the fall. That's a tough one there. Maybe they will later on. You could save your dark. Rick, let me build my load out, all the bells and whistles, sweeps, wing sweeps, spreader bar, extra color varieties. I grow all clay soils. All right, Rick. Go with the 4-inch wing sweeps. They work better in clay type soils. Go with the 8-inch oscillating hoe. I don't think the 12-inch oscillating hoe is going to work well for you in those clay soils. And we don't recommend the disc hair in clay soils. Sounds like everything else you got good. Sweeps will work fine for you. Wing sweeps, 4-inch, spreader bar, fine. Extra cultivated teeth, you're going to get 4 with that double wheel deal. Rick, I don't think you need it anymore. I think that's all you need. So there you go. You pretty much got it. 8-inch oscillating hoe, spreader bar. I would definitely, if you get the spreader bar, you definitely get the spreader bar deal with the 2 6-inch oscillating hoes. Because that's the sweet thing about the double wheel hoe. You can put that spreader bar on there. Those 2 oscillating hoes on each side, you can adjust them to cultivate those plants when they're small. Just go down there, one trip down through there, and you cultivate on both sides. So
you get all giddy talking about that.
I do. I'll get all giddy. I have talked about the wheel hoe a lot in my lifetime, and I can't tell you how many times I have talked about the wheel hoe. Yeah. Thanks, Rick. If you need any more questions answered, email us. We'll take care of you. Or you can call in tomorrow.
I missed a few minutes of the live show. You were talking about seed coming in. Are you getting most of your seeds in? I'm on 5. I am not nervous yet.
Yeah, Clint, we are. We got. I told everybody we got shipments in Thursday and Friday. We get shipments in just about every day. So we are getting beans and peas in. Not all the cow peas in, but you in Zone 5, not probably worried about that. Bean seeds are coming in. We got a bunch of them in last week. It takes a few days to get them on the website. But yes, we are in good shape on seeds, and it'll be getting better. Oh yeah, And for everybody that missed it, we got plugs available. Go to our website under plants.
Carrie put the link in the comments.
Oh, she did. Okay, well, cool. And we got brassicas ready. We'll be shipping out every first of the week. And you could get them in maybe if you get them in like on Thursday and you don't have time to plant them on Thursday, just spread them out. If they dried out, maybe give them a little water and they'll be fine till Friday. But you need to get them in dirt pretty quick when you get them in. We'll be shipping out Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays of every week for the next few weeks.
Now that our Chandler strawberries are getting berries, mine are too, how can we keep pests off them?
Down on the homestead, you know the biggest pest we have?
Birds.
Birds.
I thought about it the other day because somebody told me to get some rocks painted like strawberries.
Mm-hmm.
And they did.
That's mean.
And then they would learn they don't like them because they'd be pecking on rocks. I'm going to try it.
Really? I've heard other things like putting scarecrow out there. You see these scarecrows, these
I put
blow-up
an owl last year. It didn't work.
It didn't work. You can put some ribbon out there and let it float. Birds are our biggest thing. So I don't worry about aphids and things like that too much when I start getting strawberries. But birds, man, they tough.
You know, I always plant my sunflowers behind them. I'm not going to do that this year.
That's not a good idea.
Because the sunflowers attracts the birds and the birds eat strawberries.
Yep.
I'm going to move my sunflowers.
Yep. We got a good strawberry crop. I hope you do too down on the homestead. We just keep the birds off of them.
Mm-hmm. I might have turned in a little late, but I'm here in Florida. When do y'all start selling sweet potatoes?
Whoa. We're going to start selling them probably sometime in March. We're not going to start shipping them, if my memory, which is not that good nowadays. We're going to start selling them around April 15th. So we'll start selling sometime in March. Yeah. We'll start selling sometime in March. We hope to have them on the website so you can buy your sweet potatoes. Mm-hmm. I can tell you this right here. I know we're going to start selling them in April because theoretically you can plant them in April 15th way down south. However, sweet potatoes love the heat, so don't jump the gun too early on your sweet potatoes. Man, I love to plant mine in May every year. The end of May, 1st of June, they do wonderful. So don't get too big, too antsy on your sweet potatoes. Think about this right here. Plant you some brassicas, and when those brassicas come off, then you got a perfect place to put your sweet potatoes. How about that?
What's the best water system?
Talking
about irrigation, filtered water.
We think you're talking about irrigation, Carl. So let me go with this right here. We have a new system on the website for small gardens. So if you don't have rows longer than 30 feet, we got a great new system called the small irrigation system. However, if you like longer rows up to 100-foot rows, we got a drip irrigation kit that's perfect for that. This thing's pretty much plug and play. You can put it in. So definitely, though, if your rows are less than 30 feet, I would go with that small irrigation system. Anita.
Hey, Anita.
Hope you're staying there doing well.
They bought a new homestead.
Purchased a new homestead on 6.7 acres. Congratulations. I want to plant corn. Is there a certain direction the corn should be planted to be pollinated better, like south, northeast? No.
Just make sure you got a good block.
Yeah, make sure you got a good block and don't plant skinny rows, like 1 or 2 long rows. Plant it in blocks. Anita, I've never worried about what direction to plant them in. I think you'll be fine to either way. I would do a soil sample. I would do that, make sure my pH is in line. And corn, as you probably know, takes a lot of fertilization. So I think you'll do fine. And corn, man, that's about as good as it gets.
Nancy says, have you ever done a nitrogen fixing cover crop with sweet corn?
Nancy, I have years ago. I used to be really, really bad about doing a lot of experimenting, a lot of it. So one year I planted clover in with my sweet corn. Didn't work out well for me. Yeah. One thing is you need to cultivate that sweet corn because you need to heal it through soil to it all the time. I just couldn't manage it well. You know, theoretically, I know where you're going with this right here. You know, you got a plant that's bringing in the nitrogen and it's going to feed your corn. It don't necessarily work that way because a lot of that nitrogen is not available till that plant starts decomposing. So in a perfect world, it would work, but it didn't work for me. And I tried it a couple of different years, never could Never could do good with it. So I would highly recommend planting clover ahead of it, working into the soil, then planting sweet corn, but planting it alongside of it didn't work with me, and I could not figure out how to make it work. Healthy disrespect for authority says, what temperature does cauliflower call it quits? How hot is too hot? For us, anything that maintains above 80 degrees for us. So toward the end of May, our cauliflower goes out on us. We do fine pretty much to the 1st of May. Then after that, we call it quits. And we're in zone 8. So I know people up north, zone 6, pretty much grow it all summer long, but not for us.
Can you have 200-foot hose after your fertilizer injector?
We just bought one of our plots. Okay, let's reread again. Can you have 200 foot of hose after your fertilizer injector? We just bought one. Some our plots are pretty far. Yes, the fertilizer injector is not the issue. The drip tape, if you're using our drip tape with our row starts, you cannot run over 100 feet. The fertilizer injector is no issue whatsoever. The limitations are on the drip tape. You cannot consistently water with our system beyond 100 feet. So that's the reason we don't recommend beyond 100 feet. Yeah. The fertilizer injector has no qualms with that whatsoever if you're using a different type of system. If you have plenty of water in the setup to do that, yes, it will do it. Wicketshire project off grid. Best soil temps for starting direct sow coming out of winter. It's according to what it is. So things like okra, a lot warmer than other things. Radishes, beets, things like that. Winter peas, English peas, they'll come up a lot lower temperatures than some of your other stuff. Okra is probably the biggest thing, and roselle, of course. Roselle loves it hot too. Anything in the mallow family, roselle, okra likes it really warm. Tomatoes and peppers, probably anything 70 degrees or more. Your winter crops, you can get by with a lot lower than that. Mark says, good evening. Can you recommend a good soil tester and how necessary is that? Mark, I had a commercial one years ago that I used to use a lot, and it worked pretty good. It worked okay. A couple $300. I've always had better luck sending a sample in. You can send a sample in for $6, $8, $9 most places to most universities. I think that's your best way. These little cheap soil sample testers, I don't have much faith in those. The more expensive ones, yeah, they're okay, but I don't think it's necessary. If you're like me, you like to misplace the daggum thing and not need it when you need it. Can't find it when you need it. So I would stick with using the soil sample app. Alabama girl says, can I get Jimmy Red on your website? Absolutely.
We didn't sell out last week, did we?
No, we didn't sell it. We sold a bunch of it.
Yeah.
So we having distillers buy this stuff crazy. And what they're doing is these distillers are growing this Jimmy Red out for distill.
Farmers are growing out for
distill. Well, the farmers are growing it out for, but they're contracting with these farmers to grow this stuff out for them. So we've seen huge orders out, and they're using it to distill these boutique. All these towns now, you got these little small micro distilleries, and they love this Jimmy Red corn. We still have it, Alabama girl, but we're going to be running out. So if you want some, I'd suggest you go ahead and get it. It's on our website. Go to Premium Garden Seeds, go down to corn, go to field corn. You should find it.
Mama Hoss, what type of potatoes will you be planting in the family garden? Today, I planted some French fingerlings, Purple Majesty. I planted some of all the ones we carry.
A mix.
I did.
Yep. She's going to have a crazy looking row of potatoes.
I planted them right down the middle of where my English peas are.
Yeah. It'll be fine. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It'll be interesting. We'll get ready to have potatoes. We'll have a purple tater, small tater, big tater, red tater.
I was going to do it in a grow bag again. And then I said, no, I'll just put it right there.
Seed sower family farm, is there time for a cover crop in my sunflower field? Ooh, cool, what zone you in? If you're up north, zone 6 or something like that, absolutely. If you're down south, man, probably not. If you're down south and you want to go ahead and get something in your sunflower, I'm assuming you plant your sunflowers probably in April. It'd be tough. You might could get something like rye or oats in and then till it in when it just comes up, which might help a little bit. But the short answer is down south, no, up north, yes. I can't wait to get this final round of brassicas in. This means corns and tomatoes ain't too far off. Time to get dirty. Absolutely it is. We're getting excited too. And you know what? It's amazing to me when we get one of those warm weekends where it's about 80 degrees. It's just like something happens inside of me. You know what I mean? Springtime's here. I want to get out of that garden. I want to plant something. So yeah.
I planted sunflowers today.
You planted something. You're way too early.
No, in the greenhouse.
Oh, in the green. Okay,
yeah,
in the
greenhouse.
Yeah.
The plugs look a bit root bound. Is there anything special you need to do to plant them?
These are a little root bound monkey food. These I've had in the greenhouse for a while. I was just trying to give you an idea what size they are. The ones that we're going to be sending out are not quite as root bound to that, but we do like them a little bit root bound so that they can pull out of the starting tray. But these are not the ones you'll be receiving, but you don't have to do anything. This is the same tray the commercial guys use, and there are thousands of acres using these type of plugs right here. And the key is you want them bound enough so that when you pull them, it all comes together, but you don't want to root bound. These right here have been in the greenhouse too long.
So these, the ones we're selling, are from our seeds, but we've had somebody grow them for us.
Yes, correct. And this is some collards there, some older collards. I just got to show you. Now this is the size plug, but they won't be quite as root bound as these are. But you don't really have a problem with that with these brushes. You could plant these, matter of fact, and they would do fine.
Mama Hoss, I paint pebbles red, and yes, it helps with the birds.
The greenhouse strawberry patch. That's interesting. Yeah, that's a little mean to the birds, but
Well,
you gotta be mean sometimes if you don't want to eat your strawberries. That's the biggest problem we have is dead birds. Barn cat will take care of squirrels, not so much possums. Yep. We don't have a cat around because we got a dog named Maggie Jane. And
she'll take care of a squirrel too.
Yeah, she don't like squirrels. I've got a terrible problem with armadillos. Do y'all know what might do? We be time eating earthworms. And earthworms we view as a beneficial. No, there's not a whole lot we can do about that. Even if we could kill the earthworms, we wouldn't want to. So short answer, there's not a lot you can do about armadillos besides some type of control with a gun or something like that. That's, you know, stay up late at night and fix you a cup of coffee and get you a good flashlight and sit out there and with a 22 and take care of them. That's probably about it, unless you got a good dog that stays outside. There's nothing you can spray that'll help with that, unfortunately.
Sweet potatoes I missed last year are growing. Is that okay? I still have last year's potatoes putting out starch. Will it be okay?
Yes, it will. Is it Sonia? Sonia. I can't see Sonia. Sorry. Sonia, yeah, well, I'm actually going to do a video in a couple of weeks. I got the same thing. I got some potatoes left over from last year that I'm going to put out and show people how they can do their own slips. Yeah. We're going to be selling slips this year, but if you got, you know, sweet potatoes left over from last year and you want to plan to grow your own slips, by all means, it'll work. Yes. Put them out there and cover them up. And as soon as those slips come up, you can either cut them off or you can pull them, either one, and plant them. They'll do fine.
Got my raised bed drip irrigation system and looking forward to getting it installed. Can I run some PVC underground from bed to bed and just attach the mainline tubing at the ends of the beds?
Absolutely, Karen. And you can also put the mainline tubing underground. Or as we do sometimes, we put it underneath mulch, so it's out of sight, out of mind, but it's not hard to get to in case we need to put something else in. So yeah, absolutely you can do it. You can do either one. Best dent corn for heavy clay soils. Thank y'all. Monkey Food Garden. Oh, I don't think it matters about the clay soils, I love Hickory King. Hickory King's an old heirloom variety I love for to grow. So if I had to give you a recommendation, it'd be Hickory King, not for heavy clay soils, just simply the reason I like it. I don't think any one corn is going to be better for clay soils than any other corn. Tanya's Downhouse Garden. Hello, y'all. Is this really a big difference between the root pouch and the smart pots? Smart pots, yeah. The only thing that I know of, I'm familiar with them a little bit. The only thing, no, not a huge difference. The root pouches are made from a recyclable plastic from water bottles. So that's the only thing. Smart pot, as far as I know, is not. They both do the same thing. So there's not a huge difference between the two. One of them, our root pouch is made from recyclable water bottles, and smart pots are made from a virgin product. So that's pretty much, there's nothing wrong with smart pots. I've seen them for years. First time I seen them was around 2011 in Vegas at the National Hardware Show. And I can remember telling the boy, I don't think these things are going to sell very well. Now look at them now. Everybody's using them.
Have y'all ever grown a sweet olive tree? Best smelling flowers ever.
Wow. No, we've not. In fact, it's just a few years ago, maybe 15 years ago, the first olive tree I've ever seen in our area. Now there's a lot of them.
I would like to have one.
Yeah. Something we should put on our to-do list. Thank you.
Finally see my hot peppers coming up from seed. Took over 14 days in the greenhouse with no heat mat.
Well, you got lucky if it only took you 14 days with no heat mat. Those hot peppers are tough to get up. Even with a heat mat, we normally run anywhere.
Some of yours are.
Yeah, I know. 14 days is nothing for hot peppers. I use a heat mat and I have trouble getting them up with that amount of time. So good job. You did good. Lisa says, Hosses, do you have to hook your drip irrigation to a garden hose, or can it just be hooked up to a tank? One of our gardens this year has no water access unless we haul it. Thanks again. Lisa, I'm glad you brought that up. That's a good one right there. We get that question from time to time. So the problem with the drip irrigation system, as with most drip irrigation systems, you have a minimum requirement for pressure. Ours is somewhere around 15 pounds. To get 15 pounds of water pressure to make that drip irrigation work properly, you're going to have to put that water tank at least 35 foot in the air, which is impossible for most people. So is it possible? Yes. Is it feasible? No, it's not. A lot of people have the same problem you do, and there's no real good answer for that using drip irrigation. Melanie says, how do love you guys? Well, thank you, Melanie. We love you all as well. Alabama Constitutional Crusader.
I made it. The party can begin. Tater squash cukes in the ground. Wow.
South Alabama. Cool. Yeah, we getting it all took care of too.
I almost planted some squash today.
Did you? I planted some last year in February. They didn't do well, so I'm holding off. I got to get my potatoes. I always plant my potatoes in February. So I got.
You better be getting them in.
I'll get them in there next week or so. So yeah. Yep.
Is it too late to put onions in for zone 8?
Andrew Roberts, yes and no. You're not going to grow a great big onion, but you're going to grow a decent sized onion. If you plant them in the springtime, they do okay, but you're not going to get those great big onions. To get those great big onions, you need to plant them in the fall. They do a little bit better. Plant them in November, and you'll have better luck next year. But yes, you can still plant them. You just won't have quite as big onions, and they'll be ready probably a little later than our fall planted onions will be.
I saw at one of the big box stores boxes, crates and crates of onions for people to plant.
To plant? Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like onion starts.
Sets.
Yep. Maybe. Yeah.
Facebook user says, I have lettuce and onion seedlings ready. Our temps in zone 9 Texas is going to be in the low 80s. Is it safe to plant or wait? Oh, absolutely. It's safe to plant. In fact, I think you're a little late. Yeah, absolutely. Get them in the ground ASAP.
Mr. Haas, I want to challenge you to a contest of who can grow the largest Halcinator tomato between you and I. Are you up for it?
Might be. Send us an email. Because sir, we'll see about that.
We did that
We
last
did that
year.
last year between everybody, and I forgot what one, but it was huge.
Yeah, we need
Well
to
over
do
a
that
pound.
again.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Yep. I grew a lot of different tomatoes last year. I did a big trial on tomatoes, so I'm going to do that big of a trial this year, but I'm definitely growing the Halcinator. So yeah. And it's always fun to do some kind of little challenge there. Down on the homesteads, I promise this will be the last time I ask. Oh, don't worry about that. That's what we love to do is help people. Can we still plant English peas in Zone 9, Ocala, Florida? Yep. I think you're right on. Down on the homestead now is the time to plant them. I think you'll be in good shape to plant them right now. Probably could have planted them a couple weeks ago, but if you ain't got them in the ground, get them in the ground now. Boom, you good. And I need to do the same thing in about a week.
Mm.
T-Paul, what did I do wrong? Planted your strawberries late summer, fall, upstate South Carolina. There is no sign of them. Well, T-Paul, I can't tell you exactly, but I will tell you this. We had a hard freeze back, what was it, 1st of January. Knocked a lot of stuff out that we normally don't have that much cold weather. It could have been that. If it wasn't that, you say strawberries late summer, fall, upstate. We normally plant ours in October. Did they rot off there at soil level? Did you have some type of root rot? If you did, it was probably some kind of moisture, too much moisture. If it was the freeze that took them out, that's once every 5 or 6 year thing that we have. We normally don't have those type of freezes. I don't know exactly, T-Paul, but I would definitely look at some of those things and see if I can narrow down exactly what took them out. And maybe next year do a little bit better. Nothing we can do about the cold weather. You can't cover them. And that did help a little bit, but sometimes it gets so cold it don't help. Robert says, do y'all grow any figs? If you do, what are your favorite varieties? Ooh, Robert, I got 20-something different fig trees out there. Man, that's a tough one. With figs, it's all about the taste profile. And I prefer what they call the berry profile on the figs. So one of my favorites is what they call the I-285. Now, I do like some of the US LSU varieties. LSU came up with several varieties years ago, and I got just about all of those. So that's the ones I would recommend. They do really well, but I got some very weird ones out there that, they're fine. I love all figs. The I-85 is probably my favorite.
I've had luck applying used coffee grounds to deter armadillos. We use our own coffee grounds plus our local coffee shop. That's interesting.
That is interesting. I've never heard that before, Lord. Thank you for sharing that. I guess it's the strength of the aroma around there. Interesting. There you have it, folks. Try that. I think I'm going to stop growing transplants and just order from y'all. Y'all do a great job making it easy for a gardener. Well, that's our goal right there. Hope you're doing well. Will for Dixie Restaurant. Will, you do a good job. I see what you're doing. You do a good job growing your transplants. But if we can help you anyway, Will, let us know. We'll do it.
7B again. When can I get my potatoes in my grow bags, and what size do you recommend? I did it in the 100-gallon grow bags.
7B, I think you could probably start on
March 1st.
Yeah, anytime in March, I think you'll be okay, John. So get them in March, get you a big grow bag, get started. One thing that those big root pads do wonderful for potatoes.
Yeah. Last year we had a little cold spell after mine had sprouted up, and I just took dirt and covered them up, and they were fine.
Yep. William Cobb says, can the drip tubing in a small garden kit be buried, or does it need to stay above the ground? I think it could be buried, William, but it comes with these little stakes. And what's the neat thing about it is when you get through using it, just pull those stakes up, pull it right out of the ground, and you can work your soil again. I haven't buried it, but I think you could bury it if you wanted to. I don't think it's a problem. Those little stakes, it just works better for me on top of the ground. Tanya's townhouse garden. I'm in zone 6B. Should I have planted KY onions in the fall? I have them growing now for my green stalk. Ooh, no, I don't think you should have planted yours in fall. In zone 6B, you're gonna need to plant yours in springtime. So I think you're in good shape there. I don't have a lot of experience growing into green stalk. I know exactly what you're talking about. I've seen one at a time too, never grown anything in them. But I think you should probably wait maybe a week or two before you plant yours, maybe sometime in March. I think you'll be in good shape to plant them.
Clint Walker, I get jealous every time I watch your show. I'm waiting until April to start tomato seed. Oh,
Clint, you must be up north. I'm assuming it takes me about 6 weeks to grow them out. So if you plant yours in April, 1st of April, you'll have them ready sometime in May. So yeah. Our daughter lives in Ohio, and they normally plant things after Mother's Day.
Hey, do y'all recommend alfalfa pellets for organic fertilizer with a shortage and high prices? Fall and spring is my understanding.
I don't have a lot of experience with alfalfa. I know it has a high nitrogen content, but I don't have a lot of experience with that. I would recommend using some type of animal manure, chicken manure, goat manure, whatever you can get your hands on, more than I would alfalfa pellets. Hope that helps. I think it would be a better choice. Carlene Jackson, I always plant my potatoes before Good Friday. I'm in 6A. Wow. Usually plant carrots and beets and brassicas around the same time. Well, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for sharing. Yep. We love to hear what people do up north because it's
so they plant carrots in the spring where we plant them in the fall.
Yep, and onions too. So they can't plant them in the fall. They have to plant them in the springtime.
Interesting.
Yep. Now carrots, they might could get by. They could plant carrots in the fall if they want to. They can plant them in the fall or in the spring up there. Beets and brassicas, nope. Got to plant those in the springtime.
Mm-hmm. Melanie says Maggie Jane's a cute name.
Yeah. Thank you, Melanie.
Nancy Plank, is it too late for a second round of carrots in Zone B?
No, Nancy, I don't think so. They don't seem to be quite as sweet to me when I don't overwinter them. The ones in the springtime are not quite as sweet. Gee, you got plenty of time to get another round in.
Interesting.
Yep.
Can we show you plugs one more time?
Yeah, one more time on the plugs.
Before we go.
All right. Plugs available this week, and then every week after that. First of the week, we'll be shipping them. Not this week because it's President's Day. We're going to start shipping on Tuesday this week. But every week past this right here, we're going to ship Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We're going to have brassicas all the way through till the end of April, if my memory serves me correct. And then we will have peppers and tomatoes available sometime in March.
What kind of peppers and tomatoes?
We're going to have the Halcinator series tomatoes. We're going to have
the Halcinator pepper?
The Halcinator pepper.
Bale or jalapeno? You don't know?
We got a Poblano, I know. Anyway, we got several. You go to our website, go to plants, and go down to plants and see everything we have available. So we're going to have a limited number of these every week. So get your order in every Friday at lunchtime. We're going to post what we got, and you can start buying them then. And then we'll shut it down probably around Wednesday.
So if they go out of stock, just wait for the next week.
Yep. Yeah. All right, folks. Great joining y'all tonight. Hope everybody has some good weather coming up. We can get outside and get some things done in the garden. Springtime's here. Always look forward to this time of the year.
Me too.
Yep. Thank y'all. See you later. Get dirty.